welcome back to the Player Ratings Show, and we have a look at Wolves 1, Manchester City 5. Well, we're going to look at the City players, not too bothered about the Wolves players, are we? We're going to have a look at the player ratings, my player ratings, and of course Stuart Brennan, the chief editor-in-chief, or whatever he is at the Manchester Evening News of all City stuff. We're going to have a look at his ratings as well and compare the two, and I will comment whether Stuart's right or wrong and stuff like this. I think he's all right today. I don't think too much could have gone wrong. So obviously it was at Molineux, 8:15 p.m. on the 11th of May. Let's say Wolves 1, City 5. Interesting enough, I'm going to have a high. I don't think I've had a high starting score like this. So the players are going to score okay, even the couple who I thought weren't quite at it on the day. But my starting score for this one is 7.5. So that is usually between 6 and 7. But I thought it was such an interesting display by City, and certainly one or two of the players, that I thought I'll start with that, and then they could all rate highly. Even the guys who didn't quite do it, at least get an okay score. No one gets less than 6.5 for me. So that's how I've done it this week. Based on the match, based on how the team played, etc., etc. And of course, let me know your thoughts, let me know your scores. A couple of you guys did that last week. That'll be fantastic if you can do that. And please check out my little match report as well, where I go in more depth on the game itself rather than the player ratings. Right, so let's get on with this. I'll give you Stuart's things first, and then I'll just add my little two-penny worth after. Ederson, a great save from Cody's close-range effort, only for the offside flag to make it pointless. So, it was pointless, but he did it. It's simple as that. It's not. No one knew it was offside. Fantastic, brilliant save. Stuart's given a 7. No, the goal, could he have done better? Possibly not. Nothing wrong with that. There's a couple of times he came out of his area and played as doubled up as a centre-back himself. Perhaps we don't need a centre-half for the next game. Perhaps we'll just use Ederson a bit more. We know he's good at that anyway. He's just sweeping up at the back. That's where his skills will come into fruition, hopefully, the next couple of games. So, I give him an 8. Stuart give him a 7. I'm going to give him an 8. As I said, I started off at 7.5, so I'll give him an extra half for that save, even though it was offside. I thought he had an excellent game, and all the people slagging him off after that last game we played against Real Madrid for not being a shot stopper. Hey, these things happen. KDB had a dreadful game against Real Madrid. No one worries about that, do they? Right, on to Cancelo, one of the guys who frustrated me last night. I'll be absolutely honest with you. Stuart said his high position caused Wolves plenty of headache. It did. More than the space behind caused City. It did. But again, Wolves did look a little bit dangerous. I would have preferred Cancelo because creativity-wise, yes, we know he can do it, but he's not really doing it for me. And he's certainly not doing it on the goal front. He's taking shots and not scoring. So, I mean, I would like in this circumstances now where defensively we're poor, I would want him to play. I would just want him to play in defence. I don't really want him wasting his time. We've got better players who can build up and create things. So I don't really want that. But Stuart's given him a 7. And as I said, he's one of my lowest scores last night. I was very disappointed. That one he nicked at the end where he just blasted it into the side. That's greed. It's great. And if you're not going to score if you're greedy, it's no point. I was disappointed with Cancelo last night. Yes, he did create stuff, but I'd rather him just sit more back and let someone else create the stuff because I just don't think he quite did it. He's had a good, don't get me wrong, he's had a great season, a good season. I just don't think in the circumstances he's playing the right role. On to Fernandinho, gave it everything, says Stuart, for 76 minutes and employed all his experience to fend off dangerous Wolves. He did. But Stuart's given him a 7. I've given him an 8.5. I thought it was absolutely brilliant last night. Shattered in a role. Let's face it, we know it's not his best role, but he will do a job. He's asked to do a job and he's going to do it. He's a legend. He's a legend for me. And I thought last night, I'm going to give him 8.5. I thought he was excellent. On to the next one, we've got Aymeric Laporte. Yes, another injury. That's all we need, isn't it? Stuart said produced 2 high-quality saving tackles at vital moments. He did even one when he was really injured as well, before forced off with a worrying knee injury. So Stuart's given him an 8. I've got to give him an 8.5 like I did with Ferner. I hope the injury's not too bad, but as I said, he coped very well. And I think anyone in the defence is going to be struggling at the moment, but I thought it was excellent last night with Ferner next to an unusual partnership, and I thought he played pretty well. Not perfect by any means, and Wolves did look dangerous at times, but no, I thought he played fine. Alex Zinchenko, says Stuart, involved in the first 2 goals he was, and dug deep defensively against the lightning Chiquino. Yeah, they had some good little ball players. If you watch my match report, and it's a lot of skill, and he did very well, Zinchenko. He's been asked to come in and do a job, and he's doing it. All right, not perfect. There's 1 or 2 times he got caught out. He gave a free kick, I think, in the second half that made me groan a little bit. But overall, not bad. Stuart's given me an 8. I give him an 8. I think he did struggle at times. A tough game, though, against such a team, and all credit to him. So I give him 8. Stuart give him 8. Rodri couldn't stem the Wolves' counters, but ensured City were always pushing onto the front foot. Yeah, well, again, in the same way that Cancelo, I want to see Rodri more help in the defence at this stage with the state we're in, basically. That's all. And perhaps, obviously, because of the way we play, it's very difficult for players like Cancelo and Rodri to adapt back to a more defensive role. But Rodri's a defensive midfielder, so it should be part and parcel of his game. I'm not had a downer on him. I'm just saying I think he could do more in these sort of games. Stuart's give him a 7. I give him a 7.5. As I said, I just don't think he was involved as enough. But when he came and dropped back at centre half, fortunately, it was when the game was already won, so he wasn't really tested. I would be panicky a little bit if he starts at centre half against West Ham. I will be honest with you on that one. Little Kai Gundo and Stuart said, sat deep in a double pivot with Rodri. He did. Well, that's more creative. So perhaps Rodri could be a bit more defensive. I don't know. And was absolutely key in dictating the flow and tempo of the game, says Stuart. He's given him an 8. I give him an 8. I thought absolutely spot on. So I don't disagree with Stuart there. He did his stuff. He allowed both Rodri, in theory, to do his stuff, and he allowed Kevin to certainly do his stuff, which worked. So, yeah, I thought Gundo was excellent in a sort of quieter way last night. Kevin De Bruyne, well, Stuart says sensational from start to finish. I say if we'd had that guy released against Real Madrid, but Real Madrid and Wolves is a slight difference, isn't there? Real Madrid couldn't have lived with us, could they? But hey, it didn't happen. But the last, certainly, KDB, I think, since the last few games he's played, most of them brilliant. Stuart said coming up with his own version of the quadruple. Yeah, well, in a way, yes, he could have had 5 or 6, I think, and certainly could have had more assists. Stuart's given him a 10 out of 10. There you go. He's got an Aguero 10 out of 10. I'm going to give him 9.5. I'm not going to give him 10 out of 10. It was brilliant. Yeah, as I say, I don't think anyone will ever get a 10 out of 10 unless he's, unless Kevin De Bruyne does one of those in the last seconds of a Champions League final at 0-0 or something like that. But yeah, some of the players weren't quite on his wavelength last night as well, especially Sterling. He seems to be putting balls through, and Sterling was sort of not anticipating. I don't think they were bad balls from KDB. He was just too clever for the other players to know what he was doing. That's my reasoning behind it anyway. He was sensational and dragged us through that game, as he's going to hopefully drag us through the next couple and hopefully keep fit. I always think when he's on this sort of form, he's going to take a knock and miss a game, so we can't afford that going with 2 games left, surely. And yeah, 200 goal involvements apparently across all competitions. I assume that's for the season. I assume it's not for 2022, which is what it says on the graphic. But yeah, 200 goal involvements across all competitions. So I assume that's for the 21-22 season. Absolutely amazing stuff from KDB. Brian Sterling, Stuart said, so frustrating, absolutely. Causes so many problems, but missed a hat-trick of chances as well as touching the 5th. Stuart's given a 6, and he's going to be joint lowest scorer for me, 6.5. People are defending him, and I'll defend Sterling. He's a great player. He's played well for us, but he just looked as though he just looked as though he'd been picked out of the stands last night and asked to play a game, and he put 100% effort in, don't get me wrong, but he just didn't. His mind doesn't seem to be on it. I think he's going elsewhere. I think if City can get some money for him, they will. I don't think they'll let him run his contract down. And I'm sure there'll be takers for Sterling, because on his day, he's absolutely superb. But he wasn't quite right. It was mistiming runs. As I said, mentioned KDB before. There's 3 or 4 times KDB tried to find him, and Sterling has sort of turned his back on it or done various things, not anticipating through balls. And he scored a great goal, and he was just slightly offside. That was, he took it well. And then he had another one, a one-on-one, and he shoots it wide. It's just, as I say, there was certainly one he gave up on with Foden. I think he did 2 with Foden. One where he ran into the post, how he missed it, I have no idea. As though he must have misfocused the ball. I think I did say in my player ratings, is he wearing contact lenses and he keeps losing one? Because this is always, his vision's slightly out of kilter. And there's one even early, about the 62nd minute, I think it was, where Foden put it across and Sterling just gave up at the back post. I'm just confused with Sterling. So I said, I'm going to give him 6. I'll give him 6.5, but he's still a good score, but obviously on an average of 7.5. I'm not to point off, even though he scored. I give him a point. I always give a point extra for scoring, but I think I knocked him 2 off for his general overall play. Great player. It's been wonderful for us, but I think his time's coming to an end, guys. Let me know what you think, guys, anyway, as I say, but something wrong last night. I say, look, he certainly creates space. He takes players out of it for other players, so we'll take that as a positive. Bernardo Silva, Stuart said, worked his socks off and it was a tight contest and was then a devastating counter-attacking tool as Wolves were forced to take risks. Yeah, Stuart's given him a 9. I've not gone as high as that. I've given him an 8.5. Duracell Bernie, and he was up and down like anything. So again, another one of those displays, perhaps without that sort of little bit of creativity. But again, he's been asked to go work up and down all the time, so he can't really do that when he's asked to do so much work. I bet he's shattered. I bet he's shattered today, but apparently he recovers well, so that'll be okay. Phil Foden, Stuart says, some moments of extreme quality. On another day, he would have finished with 2 goals and 2 assists. Yep, 8 from Stuart and an 8 from me. Brilliant, as he said there, could have had a couple of assists and had a great game there. And as it was, he had a very good game. He was unlucky himself hitting the post. People, obviously, when people are saying about Sterling misses chances, well, Foden missed 2 chances. This is what you're getting on Twitter. Yeah, but okay, he could have done better. But again, he's not a striker, is he? He's not a striker, even KDB at the post. So, yeah, he perhaps could have done better. But overall, you can't complain about Foden's game last night. An excellent game. Nathan Aki for Laporte on 61. Not fit, you wouldn't know it, said Stuart. I totally agree. 7, what a hero. 7 from Stuart, 7.5 from me. Just slotted in nicely. Hopefully that little run out wouldn't have done him any harm, and hopefully that'll give him a little thing for Sunday when we play West Ham. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed. We need a bit of luck because the footballing gods seem to be totally against us at the moment and wanting us to fail. But we keep getting through adversity, unfortunately. But yeah, a good little run out for Aki, and I hope he'll improve for that and not worsen, if you like. Because as Stuart said, I don't think he was fully fit. Mahrez for Fernandinho, 77. Stuart said, no time to mark. I'll say no as well. He had a great chance at the end, but Cancelo nipped in and nicked it off him, so he didn't have a chance to do anything with it. But he's not great when he comes on for 15 minutes, Mahrez. He very rarely is. And Jack Grealish, yeah, for Foden, 81. All right, he's on for about 12 minutes with the injury time. No time to mark, says Stuart. No, but I thought he looked up for it, and he wound up the Wolves fans and the Wolves team, so that'll do for me for his 12 minutes. Man of the match can only be KDB, can't it, guys? I don't think there's any quibble with that. I think he's won a few over the last few games, certainly from me and most people as well. So it has to be man of the match, KDB. Let me know, guys. Let me know what the race is. As I say, a bit weird, a couple of the performances, but overall an excellent performance against an okay Wolves team who defensively were pretty sloppy, in all fairness. So, we could have had 10. Let's face it, the old song, we definitely could have had 10. We could have knocked the goal difference on the head, and it'd be worth another point to us, and we could afford 1 win and a defeat in our last 2. But hey, let's win them both. It doesn't matter, does it? We'll see what team we've got out. But let me know your player ratings. Let me know your man of the match. So presumably it's going to be Kevin. So let me know that. And thanks for watching. And check out, please, my match report show, as I said. And also look forward to the West Ham game in my preview show, my history show, which is out there, going back to 1996. Kevin Keegan against Harry Redknapp. There you go. Have a look at that. I enjoy doing those. And, of course, the odds show. And we did have a win in this one. Only one out of the 3 bets came in, unfortunately. But still a win. Still more for the charity, the Christie. So I'm happy with that. Watch that as well and keep your fingers crossed for me. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. They're going to do rest day. Have a great one. I only ask you one thing, don't I, really? It's just stay safe. You and your families and everybody. All you Blues, stay safe. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.